Okay, I am back. I am now parked at work, and today's episode, I don't really want to know what I want to discuss. I went and did laundry this afternoon, and I was trying to get some shots of the laundromat and whatnot, but unfortunately, there was people there who were like all mouth and nose, wanting to know what I was doing. Even when I was looking at my phone, they were sitting there looking to see what I'm doing. Like, how many people are there that are that nosy? And then even when I went out this afternoon to eat, we had one of the waiters looking over my shoulder, seeing what I was doing on my phone. And it's like, it's none of their beeswax what I'm doing on my phone. I don't check with them on what I'm doing. So, basically, that's about what I did today. Like I said, I still got to do laundry, even though I am going on my 6th week straight without a day off. I'm getting kind of tired of it, but I got a few bucks put away in the bank now, and put that towards building up my groove wagon and whatnot. And even here at work, when I'm sitting in my van, we get people who like to watch what I'm doing. And, well, upstairs at the front desk, or down here, or whatnot, it's like people always want to get into somebody else's business. And even have people who go as far as to ask me what I'm looking at on my phone or whatnot. And I'm just, why do you have to know? Why do you want to know what I'm looking at, what videos I'm watching, what my bank account looks like? None of their beeswax. But that's one of the joys of work, especially where if you're working at a apartment building, everybody wants to get into your personal business at all times. Apartments are infamous for that. They want to know every single thing you do, everything you think, everything, whatever. And a couple of years ago, I was working at another place down the street, and I almost got busted for van dwelling by management. Apparently, some of the residents spotted my van parked around town in my off hours. And so they complained to management about it. And so management asked me if I was living in my van. I denied it. I'm like, oh no, I'd never do that. No, no, no. Because I didn't want no problems. And apparently some of the residents said that they spotted my van parked around the vicinity on my off hours, and they said I was living in it. And it was even suggested that I don't park in the vicinity on my own time, but I should go straight, to and from work, to home. I'm like, nah. On my off hours, I'm off limits. I'm no longer your property. And I told them straight up, it's not their place to tell me where I may or may not go as soon as I leave the property. And they couldn't really say much. Like, okay, I understand you're kind of upset about it and whatnot. I'm like, no, it's not that I'm upset. It's just I don't think it's y'all's place. Even if I did live in my van, as long as I show up to work in proper uniform, clean uniform, and, adhere to the company grooming standards, there's no issue. Don't make a difference if I live in my van, in a mansion, or under the bridge. I don't do my job with my house. So, and they still like to stalk. And even over here sometimes they'll tell me where they've seen other people. I saw one of your guards' vehicles down the street there. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I don't care. I'm going to steal a song from an old hippie. There's still a few lyrics from an old hippie song where, they can't even run their own lives. I'll be damned if they're going to run mine. I got all I can do running my own life. These people who live here don't even know how to run their own lives half the time. So if you think for 1 minute I'm going to let them try telling me what to do or micromanaging whatever I do on my time, you got another thing coming, Jack. So yeah. And like I said, no matter where you're at, you're going to have people who want to get way into your business. And even back in the old days when I used to live in apartments, I had the same thing. Where I remember 25 years ago, I lived in this one place where we had a neighbor who I was parked, my assigned parking place is like in front of her window, and every time I'd leave from work in the middle of the night, she'd run up to the phone, start reading off my tag number, calling somebody, and then the manager one time confronted me and asked me why I was leaving every night at 10 o'clock. And I'm like, what's the problem here? My vehicle's not that loud, or is it? What's the problem? And apparently one of the neighbors thought it was suspicious that I was leaving every night at the same time. And I told the manager, I wasn't aware of any curfew around here, but if you really have to know, I was out working so that way I can pay you your rent money every month. So that was kind of the end of that conversation. And then, even just a decade ago, when I lived in Wichita, Kansas, after I broke up with this one ex-old lady I had, I moved into a little apartment. Same thing, we had these nosy-ass neighbors keeping track of whenever I came and left, wanting to know where I was. It's like, my mother didn't give me that kind of a third degree on where I went when I was 15. Right now I'm well into my 40s. And even back then when I was in my 30s, same thing. You know, I don't got to answer to you where I go. You know, or else if I get home a little late, neighbor's like, how come you're late getting home? Who are you, my mother? Well, usually you're here by this time, and now you're here. Like, yeah? I don't answer to anybody else of my whereabouts. He just kind of mumbled and walked away, but it's like, I didn't even know the guy. Wasn't even a friend of mine or nothing, just some nosy-ass neighbor. You know, I kind of think about the old TV show with Gladys Kravitz next door and a little pair of binoculars, making sure Samantha and Darren are all up on the up and up. Yeah, that's about my gripe for today. That, and I'm just rambling and I'm tired because I want a day off. But there is light at the end of this tunnel. They are hiring people for this position. They've already got a graveyard guy trained up and everything. So apparently they got somebody else on the line for working my days off. And I'm good with that. Because like I said, I'll just take my overtime, put it in my savings account, and that will go towards when I'm ready to go on my own and dedicate a certain Johnny Paycheck hit song to this company. And I've got the inventory, and I've got the knowledge of how to get more inventory, and oh yeah, it's going to be good. Because why shouldn't I unlock my own potential and be my own boss? I've been working on it for years, and I'm just about there. I'm at the point right now where they fired me. It might be a minor nuisance, but I'd survive. Even though the swap meets are going to be garbage this time of year, but pardon me, I got a lot of stuff put away for eBay. And eBay is my friend. And I'm still getting more stuff for eBay every once in a while. So, yeah. They can go ahead and fire me. Whatever they want. You know, maybe they might fire me for living in my van. You know, what are they going to do? You know, take away my birthday? Fine. I'll stay 29 forever. Yeah. Anyway, I've been rambling now for almost 15 minutes about nothing. So, have fun. I almost forgot to mention that I am going to also post a couple clips from this afternoon at the laundromat and just some other ramblings and whatnot. So, hope you like it. Well, I guess we're going to see today is laundry day. This is my van, 1969 Ford Counterline wagon. in. And finish up the laundry. Okay, I am doing the laundry. I was gonna show a little bit of it. We had some pesky lady in there being a what, wanting to know my business, wanting to chit chat. When she sees me doing something, she's sitting there asking me a bunch of dumb questions. So, anyway, laundry's done. I'm gonna go ahead and grab something to munch on. I don't feel like cooking, but here's where we're at. Down here, near my super secret location. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my stuff away and then go eat.